Welcome to Duo Chats with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about Season 4, Episode 2, titled Bailing Down, air date October 11th, 2000. And the synopsis is
Joey's looking for a new job and gets one as a waitress at the yacht club. Meanwhile, Mitch, now working as a guidance counselor at Capeside High, tells Pacey he's not going to graduate unless he makes up for his bad grades. Gretchen also finds a new place to live in a beach house, and Pacey willingly moves in with her. Jen gets ticked off after the departed Henry breaks off the relationship by Ema, whom she sends to Jack instead of her.
okay. So, how did you like how it starts?
Because that's when Joey and Pacey are walking toward the school.
Yes, hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get inside and they're not holding hands anymore.
Yep.
Because Joey doesn't like PDA.
I guess.
But when they do start kissing,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't she look so much happier with Pacey?
Yeah.
Sound like it? Yeah.
Yeah, she does, yeah.
Elaborate more.
Well, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the
That's because you're not
facial.
watching the show. You need to sit
I
there and
do.
watch the show.
I do.
Mm-mm.
I just don't really pay attention to the kissing parts.
I look at her face. Forget
Mm-hmm.
the kissing for a second.
Yeah.
Just look at her face.
Yeah, okay.
Look at her face with Dawson. It was like forced. And then look at her face with Pacey. It's just natural.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to say. I didn't mean the kissing, she looks happier. I meant, like, in general,
Oh,
she
okay.
looks happier.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. And then Pacey goes into the guidance counselor's office.
Well, no. First, wasn't it funny that while they're kissing, Dawson.
Dawson.
What? Dawson comes up behind them, and
Oh.
then he has to go into class because they're in his way.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what he deserves. And it's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty awkward. And then
No, it wasn't. It was good.
it was awkward, I think, a little bit for all three of them.
It was good to watch. I could replay that over and over.
So then Pacey went to the guidance counselor's office a little bit before that, and Mitch is there now because he's no guidance counselor at the school.
He's everything. He's Dawson's substitute teacher. He's the coach,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's the guidance counselor.
Yep.
I guess they literally could not find any other adult to be cast.
I guess, but also I think.
And what happened? Okay,
Hmm.
so the guidance counselor retired.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have retired 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember, because he was like the old guy that didn't really care about the kids, or at least Pacey.
We're talking about Milo.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he stood up for him.
Okay.
For that.
That was 2 seasons ago.
Not Meryl did.
Because remember last season when there was a guidance counselor, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't him.
It was just that one random guy for that one episode. Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't seen a guidance counselor in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess he finally retired.
Yeah.
Maybe he had to retire because he was missing too many days of work by letting the other guy take over.
Yeah.
Okay, but isn't it weird that Mitch is the guidance counselor?
No, because
Do you think he has a degree in it?
No, so technically he's
So
not.
he shouldn't be
Qualified.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't have the qualifications,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get like being a substitute teacher because you have to have so many credits for college to be a sub.
Yeah.
But I feel like a guidance counselor is different than handing out some homework for the kids and saying, do these problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. You're actually guiding students. So I would feel like you would actually need a background in it, not just, let's just throw you in because you're a sub.
Right.
Because then how could he actually handle like real life situations if he doesn't have that background?
Well, I think he can still use his life experience.
Okay, but that it's not his qualifications.
I know, but in the past he's given good advice to Dawson and
Dawson's his kid.
Other people.
Dawson's his son.
I'm just saying, like, so he's not like he's completely unqualified. He does have some things he can say. Because for this situation, I think it was best that Mitch told him about Pacey.
No, it wasn't. Because Mitch has a big mouth.
Well, yeah, but
Mitch has
I mean,
no, it should have been somebody else because Mitch has a big mouth.
I just mean talking to Pacey about his grades. I think he was the best person to
No,
do
he
that.
wasn't. He has a big mouth.
Yeah, that was afterward. I'm talking about when they were in the office.
He has a big mouth. Oh yeah, but it was funny though when they were talking and he was telling Pacey, he's like, "Well, what'd you do all summer?" And Pacey was like, "Oh, I traveled the sea or whatever." And then he was like, "Well, you should have been somewhere else." And Pacey's like, "Well, where was that?" And he goes, "Here." In school. And he's like, "Well, that's no fun." I mean, I was okay. So Pacey was being all, jokey, like he normally is, until Mitch tells him that you're failing, and if you don't, take these 3 classes, then you're going to, while your friends are going to graduate, you are going to be taking your senior year over again. And then he literally starts to get serious for a minute, which was nice to see, actually him serious for a moment. But I have a question, because remember I told you I have a bunch of questions with this episode.
Yeah.
Because, it doesn't make sense. One thing that doesn't make sense to me, and I'm asking you, is if we went to 2 different schools.
What do you mean?
How in the world can you take 3 classes after school?
Well, you shouldn't be able to do that.
This is what I'm saying. How do you take 3 classes after school? It's not like you're taking 3 in the afternoon. You're taking 3 after school. How does that even happen? How do you get to do that?
I don't know. I guess maybe Mitch set something up. I don't know.
Who's teaching Pacey? Who's teaching one student after class?
I don't know. At this point, I feel like it'd be Mitch himself. Because not like 3 other teachers are going to stay behind.
This is what I'm saying. They're not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
They're getting paid till like 3, 4 o'clock. They're not getting paid to teach you 3 classes, one student. How does that even happen? I feel like it wouldn't. Now, remember when we were seniors?
Yeah.
And do you remember it was around, I feel like it was around March.
Okay.
Okay, and here's the thing that I have an issue with too. Is Pacey says that he left early to go on his adventure.
Yep.
So he didn't know he was failing. First of all, how do you not know you're failing?
Yeah.
But secondly, my thing is nobody notified you 2 months in advance that you were failing. Nobody told you that. Then all your teachers and guidance counselors should have been fired if they didn't tell you a month, 2, 3 months in advance that you're failing. That if you don't get this grade, you will be repeating it. You know what I mean? How did nobody tell him that? Because he didn't know until Mitch tells him, which is the next school year.
Yeah.
So that's my thing is, it doesn't matter about your report card. You should know ahead of time before you even get that report card that you're failing, first of all. Now, because we know that part, here's my thing. When we were seniors, and it was around March, I would say, do you remember our guidance counselors calling students in? And none of us knew what it was about because we weren't in there. And I don't know if you remember this part of like the anticipation. Are you going to get called down? What's it for? Everyone's got questions. And then you were like looking at certain kids like, is this a good or bad thing if you're getting called down there? And ultimately they were getting called down to tell them that they weren't graduating with us and that they'd have to go to Omni, which is alternative for high school. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. That was like pretty
intense,
scary because I didn't think they did that kind of thing. I thought they would like send letters home or something, but no, they
sent the kids.
Yeah, they called out names in front of everybody, so now everybody knew who was failing.
Yeah,
it was the quickest way, but the most humiliating way. You know what I mean?
Well, but remember at first, none of us knew.
Yeah.
Because it was like, so-and-so needs to go down to the guidance counselor. And it was like, huh?
Yeah.
And then we were all like looking at each other like, what is going on? And then finally word got out of what it was really about. And it was like, ooh, this isn't good. But I remember we were all, I didn't think we were paying attention in class. That was the other problem was the rest of us are supposed to be focused on what's happening in our class. And we weren't. We were too busy focusing on, is this a good or bad thing that they're getting called down there? Like, do we want to get called down there?
Right.
That was the big thing was, okay, let's see. Maybe I don't want to get called down there. I'll never forget that day. That was so intense and scary. And I mean, our names weren't even called. But it was the lead up of if your name is going to get called. And then did you worry after that?
Yeah, a little bit.
You did? Wait a minute. Didn't you get good grades? And you still worried?
Well, wasn't that sophomore year?
No, this was senior year.
I thought they did in sophomore year too.
I don't know.
Because I know that's when other kids left our class too.
Well, I just remember senior year because I had some people that I knew that no longer were in our class. And I remember, I feel like it was around March though, don't you?
I don't know, maybe. I thought it was like before second semester.
You think January?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I feel like they only were at Omni for only a couple months.
I don't know.
Because then we were done in May. So yeah, but I just remember that was such a scary day for us. Of what is happening? But yeah, then it was like, well, and the other thing too, even if you pull them out January or March, they have to make up a whole year at Omni. How are they doing that? Now, I got some questions for even our school. How do you pull kids out their senior year, not even the beginning of senior year, but you pull them out because they're not going to graduate with us? But yet they do graduate in June, just at Omni. How does that even work?
I don't know.
Because think about it, we had to take a full year of science, full year of math, full year of English. So if you're not passing, wouldn't you have to retake the whole year?
I don't know, their hours work differently over there. Like,
So what, you had like 3 hours of English for one class?
I don't know. It might be
Do you know
more
what
like
I mean?
college
To make it up
format.
for a whole year?
Yeah, it might be like more like of a college format. Like they don't have to do as many hours.
I would feel like they'd have to do more to make up for a whole year
I don't know.
than what we had to do.
I don't know. We don't know anything how they work, so we don't know.
That's why I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know. I've never been Omni. I don't know. I don't know anyone that went to Omni.
What? Yes, you do.
Well, not personally that I could
Yes,
ask right now.
No, not somebody that you can ask.
Yeah.
But you do personally know
Yeah,
people.
I know.
I'm just saying. But you said you didn't.
Well, not anyone I could ask.
I'm just telling you do.
Like right now.
You do know people.
Yeah. Well, I know like 2 off the top of my head, but one of them I never really talked to, so.
Yeah, I just remember that. It was like, ooh. But then, well, and you have to think too, how is it that, first of all, once again, they didn't even know they were failing?
Yeah, that was probably the shocker for them, at least some of them.
Well, how do you not know you're failing? These people don't check their grades.
Again, maybe letters were sent home or something.
And what they do, just throw them away when it said to the parents of?
I don't
know. Because a lot of them look shocked that they even got called down there.
I know.
And it was like, but if it's about you failing, how do you not know you're failing?
I don't know. We don't know any of this because we weren't one of those kids, luckily, so.
No, but just their looks on their faces, some of them. I don't know if it was because they got humiliated or what. But yeah, that would suck, though. I mean, you're preparing for senior year.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to graduate with these people that I went to kindergarten with. Even though I didn't go to kindergarten with you. And then, but I was there since 3rd grade, so I've been there a long, long time.
Yeah.
And then to not be able to walk across that stage with these people that you have known your whole life, that would suck.
Yeah.
But then to only find out a couple months in advance, that's messed up.
Yeah, because like, what if you had like already plans for prom? Like, what if you already had your dress picked out?
Well, you ain't going to prom.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a prom.
That's a good question. Maybe they didn't.
I don't know.
I feel like they would do something for them at least.
Well, I don't know. They were getting punished for failing.
It wasn't really, it felt like a punishment, but it wasn't really a punishment. They just needed extra help that they weren't going to get at our school, the regular school.
The regular school?
I don't know what to call it.
She just called it the regular school.
Well, it's a typical school that kids go to. But at the other school, they probably have like more one-on-one lessons with the kids, Like the teachers can give them their attention more than they would at our school.
Yeah, I don't know if they really gave them attention.
The classes are smaller and everything, so there's less kids to teach.
I don't know if they really got extra attention.
Well, you said you know someone.
I do. I didn't ask questions. You said you know people.
Well, then I don't know why you're asking me these questions if you already know someone that can answer them.
Because I don't ask people questions, okay?
Okay.
If it has something to do with... Because certain people did not want to talk about it, which I think was everybody that went
there. Yeah.
Think about it. Nobody was really talking about it. So, but those people can relate to Pacey. But I just want to know how in the world he could do 3 classes at the same high school after school. Like, who is staying there that long?
Like I said, Mitch is the only one that makes sense at this point.
No, it doesn't. He doesn't even make any sense. But that's what I was saying. Like, this is definitely like has to be TV writing because who is staying over to help one student for that? And don't you think that okay, like our school, if you had to retake a class, you could have.
Yeah.
Because we didn't need certain classes. Once you had all those other ones done, like if you already did gym and health, and you already did your 1 year of foreign language.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of stuff. Once you did that, then you were kind of free to do whatever. So if you had to make any classes up, that would have been the time to do it for us.
Yep.
Like we had the time to do it. Like I remember senior year for me, going into senior year, the guidance counselor told me, honestly, like you don't need to be here the whole day, which is why I did the other program to go to college. I mean, I didn't actually take any college classes. It was just like a just what's out there sort of thing. And but yeah, I just remember that was like the only thing I could take because I had everything else done. I mean, I was even taking art again, even though we only needed like 1 year of it. But I was taking it my 3rd time because that was the only thing to take. And we were so limited that I didn't need any other classes. And I mean, I think senior year, I only needed like 2 out of the classes I took because the other ones were just optional for me. And I had to fill my schedule. But yeah, that would have been the time senior year to fill your class or your schedule with all the classes you have to make up. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but I don't think it was like that here at Cape Side than it was
clearly
elsewhere.
not, because they should have filled Pacey's schedule.
Yeah.
Well, and he must have needed all of his classes. Like, don't you think he would have done good in gym or something that he wouldn't need to take it?
Right. And then I was worried about how much Dawson and Gretchen were talking to each other.
Why?
At the music store, because
Why?
Dawson was selling some of his CDs apparently.
Why were you worried?
This show loves to put a teen character with an adult character and have something.
Well, he is an adult.
Well, isn't he 17?
The actor.
I'm talking about the characters.
I know.
Like, I was afraid that maybe, like, they would have Dawson's crush come back on Gretchen, and then she might start liking him, and that would be more drama. That'd be interesting to watch.
Well, you don't know what the future holds.
Does that happen later on? Because I don't want it to. I'm just saying that.
Wait, you don't want Gretchen and Dawson?
No, not right now. Not right. He's in high school.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like them together.
Yeah, I just not right now. You know, I'm more interested in why she's not in college actually too. But yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like something could be there if the writers wanted to. They just probably easily could. Yeah, and then
No, that's why you're concerned.
Yeah. Well, I should be concerned about something else.
Yeah.
What?
Drew Valentine.
Oh yeah. But I'm
he's more who I'm concerned with.
Yeah. But also I think it was stupid how Henry sent Jack that email to break up with Jen.
I miss Henry.
Because like he did all that just to get Jen's attention and to get her to go out with him, and that's how he ends things with a little email, not even sent to her.
Dawson
what?
I love how we go from Dawson to Henry.
I'm just trying to cover every the other plot lines first that are not really that long or interesting. But yeah, so I was mad at Henry for doing that, and I hated that he put
I was
Jack
mad
in
that we didn't get to see him.
Yeah.
All I want to do is see Henry.
Did the actor leave to be on another show or something?
Why you always ask me questions? I don't know what he was doing. Why don't you ask him?
I don't know if Google could tell me anything. But yeah, so I was mad about that. Then Henry did that and put on Jack, and so then Jen was mad at Jack for telling her and everything like that. But I'm glad they meet up at the end,
Man, you just want to do the whole thing. You don't gotta cover it in 2 seconds. I thought it was wrong that Jack would even go along with it. I was like, Jack, do you remember when you got them together and Jen went after you?
Yeah, but then Jen did figure it out herself too.
But why would she, or why would he go along with it. Like, you know it's not going to end great with Jen. You know, she's going to yell at you. So why would you even agree? I would have been like, Henry, this is your problem. You want to break up with her, so you break up with her. I'm not doing your dirty work for you.
Yeah.
Would you do, if you were in Jack's position, would you do it?
Nope.
I'd have been like, not my problem, dude.
Yeah, but Jen did figure out by herself
Well, yeah,
without
because
Jack saying
Jack
much.
kept saying, "Oh, have you talked to Henry?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, blah blah blah," and it's like you're making it definitely look so obvious, especially because she hasn't seen him or talked to him,
Mm-hmm.
that there's something going on.
Yeah, so 99 and 2000 were the years that the actor for Henry was on the show. His real name is Michael Pitt. He actually did 3 movies during those 2 years that he was part of the show.
Oh yeah, so he was busy.
Yeah, so and then there's one that's listed right after Dawson's Creek called Finding Forrester. So I'm wondering if maybe that was the movie he had to leave the show for to film. I'm guessing. We don't know. Do you think that was a possibility, Brittany? Why they had to write Henry off the show? Because he couldn't do the filming anymore of
I
the
don't know
movies?
because it could have been too. They were bringing in Drew, so
Why? Is he supposed to be something for Jen now?
I
The
don't
love
know. I'm
interest?
just saying.
Because I don't like him, so I'd rather have Henry back, so...
Well, of course, anybody would rather have Henry back, but I'm just saying that maybe they were like, let's give Jen somebody else.
Even though she was having a good time with Henry, of course.
I'm just, they only let relationships last within that time period. I mean, think
Mm-hmm.
about Pacey and Andy. It could have went on longer,
Yeah.
but they made sure, new season,
Mm-hmm.
let's end the relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, it was same thing with Dawson and Joey. Oh, season 2's done, so I mean, even though I was happy with that one, but it was just the same thing of let's end them. I mean, that just seems to be their MO. It's not, let's keep them together for a few years. That's not how Dawson's
Mm-hmm.
Creek works around here,
Yeah, and
as we're
then
noticing.
and then to that same scene by the email, Jen opened her email,
Oh, I'm sorry, but
nothing.
those computers look so big.
Oh, I didn't look at the computers. But yeah, so Jen, she got no email, but then when Jack signed on, you could hear the "You've got mail" voice.
So when he opened up his mail,
I was just saying that voice brought me back to AOL mail when I was a kid, hearing that voice.
oh,
It was like the best voice to hear because like it was exciting to get email back then, you know,
sure.
even though it's spam now these days.
You had
Yeah,
AOL.
yeah. When I was 11, it was cool. They had games and music on there.
I never had AOL.
Yeah,
I was not a part of that generation.
even though we're the same age. Yeah, that
Shut
my
up.
email was just like a random generated one, so it really was nonsense. But
Well, you were like 5 and had a cell phone, so I don't know.
I didn't get a cell phone until I was 18.
Oh, really?
I think you got one before me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so see, computer wise, I had everything, but technology wise, everywhere else, I really didn't have it.
I mean, I remember being.
I mean, I had the Game Boys, but I never had the phones.
When did Yahoo Mail come out?
90 something, I want to
Well,
guess.
see, I had Yahoo Mail. I didn't have AOL. I mean, clearly AOL was popular, but I did not have that. I usually
97,
didn't go for popular things.
97, Yahoo came out.
Oh, we'll see. Just enough time for Brittany to have it. Because I ended up having it when I was like 13, 14. You know what's weird?
Hmm.
Okay, maybe I was 14. I remember having Yahoo
Yeah.
Mail, and that's when you could like do the group chats and
Yeah, AOL
everything.
had that too.
Yeah, so did Yahoo. And
Mhm.
I remember some person was being creepy and like messaging.
What did they say?
They were starting to get personal. I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
yeah.
So I just shut that
Mhm.
down. I was like,
Yeah.
nope. No, and it just felt so wrong.
Mhm.
It was messed up because I was only 14.
Yeah, no, I was 11 when I was in those group chats.
Cynthia, you were a baby. This is what I'm saying was I was older than you when you. Why
Yeah,
were you doing this when you were 5? Come on now.
no, I mean, I wasn't on a computer by the time I was 5, even before that. But yeah, I remember those group chats. But like, as far as I
What were you
remember,
even talking about at the age of 11?
like music, and there was this one person I talked to with about Bratz. So very ironically, I'm actually wearing my Bratz sweatshirt today too. But yeah,
There was no like creepy stuff going on.
no,
Well, how did I get the
I
creepy
think
stuff?
AOL was just good at filtering that stuff out. even though, like, it would have been so easy for any adult just to click on the little button that says I'm under 12, and they could have easily had access to those group chats, but luckily
It was
nothing
under 12.
yeah, luckily nothing
I don't know
happens
what
like
Yahoo
that, so
was.
and, like, with the music, it was all, edited, so there's, like, no swearing, so I liked that because it was actually placed with, like, less bad words.
Was it like, I love Hannah Montana?
No, I didn't talk about Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana wasn't even on
What?
there, like, the music-wise, I don't think.
You love Hannah Montana.
Yeah, I just nobody else talked about it, so I didn't talk about it. I don't know. I just talked about whatever the people were talking about.
Just talking about.
But yeah, but back then it was all about, like, ASL, age, sex, and location. That
At 11?
No, well, just video chat and
I was gonna say,
messaging
Cynthia,
in general. People used to ask that a lot. Not me, but that was a thing too back then.
I'm still shocked at the age 11 part.
Yeah, my
This was
dad let me
happening
have
at
it.
11.
My dad let me have the email. He set it up
Oh,
for me, so
now, if you had a kid,
yeah.
would you let them
No.
see?
I mean, why would they need an email? Was probably the only thing I could think of was for school, but that would be at the school's email, you know?
That was the thing, was any email I had would
Hmm.
have been school related.
Yeah,
I would never just have a personal email.
right.
Unless, like if a teacher had to send you something, it would be through your school email, but if they didn't,
Hmm.
it'd be like my mom's email. It
Yeah.
would never be personally directed at me. So I never
Hmm.
had one
Yeah.
until my cousin decided to make me a Yahoo.
Hmm.
And I was even, okay, here's the thing, was I was even against it, full-heartedly against it, because I was like, what do I need this for? It only leads to trouble. I knew that at 14. And my cousin was like, oh no, like everyone has an email. And I'm like, I don't need one.
Were they older than you? Your cousin?
He is 8 months older than me.
Oh, I thought like a few years maybe.
No. And then like he gave me like a fake name and I still have it. And it's like really weird. Like people are like, who is this? And I'm like, it's a made up name from when I was young. But yeah, I just remember I was like, and then, but as soon as that happened, I was like, "Ooh, definitely not going in these chats anymore."
Hmm.
Because I didn't know how old this person was.
Right.
And like he was saying he was a guy, and I was only 14. I was like, this is just messed up. So
Hmm.
I just stopped talking to the person.
Right.
But think if like some naive 14-year-old would have, that would have been bad. They probably would have met up and everything.
Yeah, that happens
I know that
for real
happens. That's what I'm
still
saying.
today. Yeah.
Like that's what's so scary is like
Hmm.
I was smart enough to be like, no, getting out
Right.
of this situation. But a naive 14-year-old would have been
Hmm.
like, this is great,
Yeah.
you know?
I think kids should know about the blocking option you can do for these
I
things.
think kids just need to stay off of the internet.
Yeah. Because, like, they don't have any more, like, gaming websites like we had as kids.
Like, here's the thing, if I had a kid, my kid would have no technology.
And, like, computer games, like the CD-ROM games, like, we had other things that weren't the internet, like the worldwide internet, you know?
Worldwide.
We had, like, the Disney Channel website, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and a whole bunch of other ones, too,
Oh
that
wait,
weren't really
what did you do on the Disney Channel website?
I played the games, and you could listen to music, you could watch episodes on there.
You know what I watched?
Hmm.
The DC games.
Yeah, I did, too. That's on Disney Plus, too, at least one season is.
You don't even know what. No, I meant. What do you think
Oh,
that?
Disney Channel game. I thought I meant like the summer games that they had in the 2000s. Remember they had the actors in different
That's what
teams?
I meant.
Yeah, okay, that's what I meant too. I watched all those seasons and one season's on Disney Plus, so I watched that too.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Everybody's like babies back then. But it did look fun. I did want to participate in some of those. And then the
You wanted
concerts
to
that they had.
participate.
Yeah, and the concerts that they had. Like Miley sang, Demi sang, Jordan Pruitt sang. I can't remember past
Okay, I'm
that,
gonna
but
be honest with you. We're talking about this.
okay.
What? Okay, because you know how they at the first year they did it.
Yeah,
They had only 3 teams,
right.
and it was literally only the U.S. actors.
Actors. Right.
So obviously we knew every one of them.
Mhm.
Not personally. But then it got a little crazy because then they started like doing all countries, and it was like I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah, but I
I
thought it
know who
was
like two
cool.
on the team are.
I thought it was cool how
Yeah, but I didn't know
all
who
the
any of them were.
kids
So why would I cheer them on? I don't even know who they are.
I like some of them just from watching them in there.
And so like my thing was, you know, like every year, you know, every summer, it would come out and you were like, oh, this one's my favorite team.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, for my first thing is, what was your favorite team color? And secondly, what was your favorite year?
I think I usually went for the blue team.
Why the blue team? What was so good about the blue team?
The people that were on there.
Oh, who was on? This ought to be good. Who was on the blue team?
I don't know. Trying to
You don't even know, but you wanted to. Okay, you don't even know, but you picked the blue team. You can't pick the blue team when you don't even know the blue team.
Hold on. Wonder if I can get a list of players.
You should. Okay, I'll help you out. The first year, the blue team was Vanessa, Corbin. Was Monique on that team?
I don't know.
I love how I'm only picking High School Musical.
Okay, I think I found something on IMDb. Doesn't tell me what
What color?
Yeah.
You'd probably have to YouTube it.
Yeah.
But you don't even know why you picked blue.
Well, it had to be somebody that was on there.
I have a feeling that second year you went with green.
Maybe.
Because of Miley.
Yeah, I think didn't she only participate in the first year? I feel like. After that, she was, like, too busy or something to play. I don't know.
Well, because then I remember it was, like, the second year, and they made the yellow team, and it was, like, the yellow team.
I'm trying to look up the first games to see. Okay. Horrible quality, so I can't even really tell who's who. Corbin, Brenda, Monique, Cole, Vanessa, and Zach. No, not Zach.
We know that, but
Jason.
I know Zach wasn't on the blue team.
Jason, green team, Mitchell, Miley, Lucas, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Corey. I meant Kyle, Emily, and
Well, why? Okay,
Ashley.
Emily was on it. Wait a minute.
Emily Osment, is that her?
But why?
That's a little blonde. Because this quality is horrible.
Why would all three of them be on the same team?
No, I'm talking about that was the second team.
Yeah, why would they all be on one team? You said the green team. Why would they pick three from the same show on the same team? Aren't they supposed to break them up? They didn't. I didn't feel like they broke them up enough.
Right.
Because High School Musical, you have three on the same team.
Right.
They did not break them up well. Okay, there was 6 of them. 2 should have been on every team.
Yeah.
Not 3 on one team. Yes, because wasn't it Ashley and Lucas were on the green team?
Yeah.
Yes, because Zach was the only one from High School Musical that was on the red team.
Right.
And so I full-heartedly supported the red team.
Yeah, he had Dylan.
Yes, because that was the thing was I was like, oh, I love Dylan, so he's on it, and Zach's on it. I'm like, my team's pretty good. Because Adrienne was on it. Wasn't she on that year?
No. I don't know. I can't see one girl at all. I can't recognize her. Moises.
Oh, yeah, I remember Moises was on there.
Yep, Ashley Green, Corbin Blue. Oh, and Elise. That was her on the red team that I couldn't recognize. And then there was one more person, too.
But I just remember I was like, okay, I have to go with Team Red.
Yeah, so I definitely would have went with whatever team Miley was on.
See, you would have went green.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
Okay, but which year was better?
I don't know, I'd say the first, maybe.
Because it was new?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you remember they were only, like, a couple minutes? It was like a commercial break.
Yep, that's only that part of it, yeah.
It sucked because you had to watch the episode in order to watch the games. And I'm like, this is stupid. Because if it's a show I do not want to watch,
yeah,
I have to sit through it. That's what sucked. But do you remember the next year they made it like a 20-minute thing of an actual show? Yeah. Like what was it, Friday or something?
Oh, I wonder that's why they don't have the other years on there. They only had the 1 year in like 20-minute episodes.
Okay, so here's the thing. I hate red.
Okay.
But I had to go with red because of Zach.
And
then the second year, I remember I hate red, but then Nick Jonas was on red, and I was like, God dang it, I gotta go with red again. I felt so bad because Kevin was yellow. Yeah. I was like, who wants yellow? Like they couldn't even give him a good color. You know what I mean? Right. But I did like because that was the year that they did the Jonas Brothers and the Cheetah Girls and that's where they did those. They would call them like the sibling. Do you remember that? Like the sibling game, but it was because it was like Adrian and Nick were on a team, red. Then it was, oh God, I don't want to get this wrong. No, oh no, because then even Dylan and Nicole were on it too, I think. Because I think one of them were on Joe's team. I don't know. I just remember like,
I think that was the year too where they were late for the games too, so they didn't show up right away.
that was just an entrance thing, was
I know, yeah, that's why I did the quotation marks. Of course, you can't see me do that, but
it
for
was
you to
like,
see.
but that's where they had like the actual entertainment.
Yeah.
Because that's where like Miley performed and
Yeah,
the
so
Jonas
yeah.
Brothers performed and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was the best part.
You think that was the best part?
Yeah, I like the music.
I like the games because some people you really think are coordinated and then they're not. And you're like, come on now. And you're yelling at the TV.
I'm sure there are some people that didn't want to do it. So do you think they had to pay them to participate?
Like who?
I don't know. Just anybody that didn't want to do it. Would you want to do it?
Yeah. I'm not coordinated. Everybody would have been yelling at me.
Yeah, as long as it like wasn't too difficult for me, I would have been fine.
Yeah. Oh, do you remember when they were stealing each other's stuff?
Oh yeah,
That
in the
one year?
tents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their blow ups.
Yeah, that was funny.
But I just remember I was like, dang it, I have to cheer on Team Red 2 years in a row. And I just hate red. So it was messed up. I cannot believe you were against Team Red.
Like I said, I was most likely just
I'll
when
see wherever Miley was.
Yeah.
I had to be wherever Zach was.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't even remember how we got here, but yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to talk about the episode, but as you can tell. Now, talking about High School Musical, do you think that they hired Zach because he was so cute?
Possibly. Like, and maybe he probably just read lines better with Vanessa than, the other guy that ended up being the singing voice for Troy.
That was the thing, was Zach didn't even sing the first movie.
I know.
And it was like, so I just wondered, especially because everybody had a crush. Okay, 90% of people had a crush on Zach. If that was what drew them to pick him.
Maybe.
And yes, then of course he had the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wonder because I'm like, because honestly, I can tell you, Zach is the reason why I watch High School Musical. Like I first watched it, but then you get addicted. You got to watch it all the time. Like anytime it was on Disney Channel, and then you end up getting the DVD and watching it all over again. And it was all because of Zach for me. Like I could have just watched it once if it was anybody else.
I watched it because of Ashley.
Well, that was the reason why I first watched it, but then she was so mean, I didn't like her.
Yeah, and then I liked the music more.
But then I just loved Zach and Vanessa, and I'm like, I could care less about anybody else on there.
Yeah. And then they voice dubbed Vanessa too for her song because she couldn't reach the lower notes.
I didn't care. They were just too cute. But then I was just like, when your heart breaks because Zach wasn't the one singing, and it ruins your whole childhood. But then you're like, but he's so cute. I wonder if that's why they hired him.
Well, he made up because he sang for the second one, so.
I know he made up because when I heard the second one, I said Zach can sing. Mm-hmm. Like, what in the F?
Yeah.
If Zach can sing, why wasn't he singing?
I think because his voice was, like, maturing, like, cracking and stuff. I don't know. There was some reason.
And here was the thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, out of the 3, did you watch all 3 movies?
Yep.
You were a fan of High School Musical, Cynthia?
You don't know this? I have all the DVDs, almost all the CDs. I've watched the series and everything, so...
Oh, I did not watch the series. Mm-mm. I can't watch a series without them.
They're in there a little bit.
Zach is not in it.
Yeah, because he didn't want to. Everybody else but Vanessa, Zach, and Ashley weren't in it. Everybody else was, though.
Again, Zach and Vanessa weren't in it. I can't watch it.
It was good. I like the new kids. Huh? It was good. I liked the new kids.
Oh, I don't know. It was like I watched the one do Scream, and I said, I don't know. There was like the song Scream.
Oh, you watched from the last season?
No, I typed in Scream High School Musical, and that popped up, and I said, absolutely freaking that.
Yeah, that wasn't Josh's best performance.
It was who?
He was too soft. Josh?
Who the heck
in the
Josh?
Series? I thought we were talking about the series. High School Musical, the series, High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know who No, I typed in High School Musical Scream because I wanted to watch Zach. All of a
Right?
sudden, this other dude pops up, and I'm like,
Yeah,
who's he?
that's probably Josh.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
all I did was want to watch Zach.
his voice was too soft for that song. They
He
should have,
ruined it.
yeah, they shouldn't have made him sing it or have him
Like, okay, why redo
direct
the
him.
same things?
Because he was playing Troy in the play, in the series.
No.
The school play. He was playing Troy.
Troy is an actual character.
I know, but in the series, it's fictional still, so.
No. I can't. I can't with the remake of it. Like,
I liked it.
It was too soon for a remake. You gotta wait 50 years
It
until
came
I'm
out-
old and I can't remember what happened. Then you can do a remake of it.
It came out 13 years after the first movie.
That was too short of a time that they remade it.
Okay.
Plus, you can't remake High School Musical.
They didn't remake it. They made it a different whole new thing.
It was stupid.
I liked it, Brittany.
Did you like Mighty Ducks being redone?
Yeah, I watched that too. Some remakes are good. Some people are just too critical.
Are you saying I am critical?
Because these remakes, if they do it well, they can make it their own. It had 4 seasons, so it was good.
No, the kids will never know what it was like to watch High School Musical.
Some of them watched it when they were little.
Like you?
Not little like me. I was 12. They were like
now,
5.
How many Mighty Ducks people were on the show?
Several.
Oh.
They had, what's his name? The coach.
You don't even know.
Emilio. And then they had some of the teammates in season 1 come back. Not Josh or
I know
Keenan.
Josh didn't. That's why I wouldn't watch it.
But there were some. And there was actually one that I realized went on to be in the Hunger Games Mockingjay movie too. But again, I don't know how we got here. But
we're talking about remakes.
Yeah.
No, but I hate musicals.
Okay, see, I love musicals. That's a difference.
So I only watched it because Ashley was in it. Because, obviously watching Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, I was like, well, she's in it. But then she played Sharpay, who was mean, so I wasn't all into it.
I liked her clothes, but yeah, she was mean.
But then she's good at playing mean, I will say that. And, but then I was like, no, but then my eyes went to Zach the whole time. And, so then that's what really brought me in it. And then I remember when Camp Rock came out, and I was like, I'm not too fond of it.
I liked it.
I think because Joe was center stage.
Yeah.
But I liked Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Nick wasn't center stage.
Well, wasn't Joe center stage anyhow? Even if it wasn't on the movies, it was like in general. He always was most of the time, or at least half of the time.
Have you ever listened to their songs? Nick sings half of it.
I know, but like performance-wise, isn't Joe usually?
Yeah, Nick's always on the end.
Yeah, so they just stuck with that same thing. They stick with the guy who's like the most, or person that's most popular.
He's not the most popular.
Well, a lot of people liked him too. Like the older people, like high school girls, liked him.
People also liked Nick. I feel like there was that divide between who likes Joe and who likes Nick.
Mm-hmm. I didn't care for either one of them, so I was the only girl that didn't have any crushes on them or Zac Efron.
What?
Yeah.
Man, I forgot who JC liked. I forgot if it was Joe or Nick. Interesting. But then I did like Camp Rock too because Nick was more into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Camp Rock. I just wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't the same feel that I had with High School Musical.
Right.
I don't know.
Vibe.
Well, I don't know too if it's because I was a kid when High School Musical came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was 12.
Yeah.
And it was when Camp Rock came out. I was a teenager.
14. Yeah.
I wasn't into. By that point, High School Musical was coming to an end.
Almost, yeah.
Because I was 15.
Some months later, yeah.
I was 15 when the third movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
So they were coming to an end.
Right.
So my musical days were coming to an end.
Mine were just getting started there.
Yeah. And so I was like, I just don't really care for the breaking out. And like, it's, again, I go for realistic things.
I'm the opposite.
And that to me is just too annoying.
Not for me, I love it.
Okay, like the song, what time is it?
Yeah.
All I want to do on my last day of school is get the heck out of school, not stay in there and sing and dance.
It's only 3 minutes. It was like a fun little.
3 minutes? That was like 5 minutes long.
Well, if you count with the talking beforehand, with the summer ticking of the clock.
When you look at Zach's blue eyes.
Like I said, I didn't care for Zac Efron like that, so.
My heart is breaking right. I cannot believe you just said that.
Yeah. I wasn't the girl that liked all the guys that the other girls liked.
You did not like Zach's baby blue eyes.
I don't really go for blue eyes, like brown eyes.
But he has those like perfect blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You are so critical.
No, I just
You
think...
talked about me being critical. Oh, because I have crushes on people.
No, I'm saying about remakes, not people.
Yeah, well, I have a crush on Zach. I have a crush on Josh, and those are two people that weren't in the remakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would have liked the remakes. Okay, did you like, Hairspray remake?
The remake of 2009?
I don't know. I don't know what year it was.
Well, the one with Zac Efron came out in 2009. I didn't watch that. I know some of the music and some of the scenes, but I never watched it.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't
What?
watch everything. I don't watch everything's accent because I
Okay.
don't like musicals.
Okay.
I did not watch Hairspray. I have seen songs
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that of Zach,
Yeah.
but I have not sat through the whole entire movie because I just can't.
I was just surprised he did more singing after High School Musical. I thought he would stop
I
after
know.
that.
I thought he was done.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
And then many years later, he came back with The Greatest Showman, too. He was good in that.
well, what was kind of funny was he pulled away from musicals.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
For a
like,
minute,
Zach,
yeah.
that's the one thing that made you who you are.
Yeah.
That's what I can't understand. Like, I'm happy he went back to his roots
Mm-hmm.
of musicals.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, don't shy away from what got you there. And that's what a lot of people, I feel like, do.
Yeah, maybe he just wasn't a fan of singing in general since
Well,
he wasn't really...
I do think because critics judge you on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like a musical kid. Just like they'll say, oh, you're a Disney kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like they get that rap. And they're not, how do I want to word it? They're not looked at professionally in like big movies because they were a Disney kid. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why they do their best to try to avoid those stays, I think, as much as possible because they want the recognition that an A-list celebrity gets.
Right.
And I think maybe that's what he was aiming towards.
Probably.
I mean, he got there successfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember, I was like, oh. But I was actually happy you didn't do musicals because then I didn't have to sit through. I could at least sit through actual movies he was in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then back to the show. Joey has her interview for the yacht club. Not her interview for the yacht club, but it's at the yacht club with Mrs. Valentine for a recommendation letter.
Remember when Andy last season was all, especially the ending, I didn't really think she was a fan of Joey.
Right.
Well, this episode, they're walking down the street together and she's telling her about this job.
Yeah.
And, at the yacht club and how it's basically the same thing as Ice House, only like rich people.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, oh, yeah, you just have to put in a word like, someone who goes there.
Oh, did I say Joey?
Yeah.
Or Andy? Okay.
You said
Joey.
I said Andy.
Oh, okay, because I said recommendation letter, so yeah, I meant Joey has her interview to be the waitress at a yacht club. Andy's later. Yeah.
Stop getting them. I'm going to slap you every time.
Okay, so Andy, gave her the recommendation, and Andy said that you could use my name, but it's already tied with a whole bunch of drama and stuff, so.
But then she said just use the Rosses.
Yeah. Which would have worked until later on.
Until Mr. Drew.
Yeah, ruined that. And messed with Joey, because he knew she was lying about that. I've never seen a Drew spelled that way either. Drue.
Like true?
Yeah.
Only with the D?
Yeah, I was surprised my Microsoft Word didn't underline it when I typed it out. I didn't think it was that common to be recognized.
Do you like that Andy and Joey are hanging out, or do you think it was definitely like a thrown-in thing? Because...
No, I think it was...
Yes, but after what happened...
Yeah.
Andy was not a fan. She was like Dawson.
Yeah.
And was not going to go out of her way to be friends with anybody.
Well, she didn't help Dawson in the boat race, give him the boat.
She was okay with everyone but Pacey and Joey.
I thought she was okay with everyone but Pacey because she wanted to help Dawson make amends with Joey.
No, she wanted to help Dawson get after Pacey. In Andy's mind, it was all about getting back at Pacey. Okay. And if Dawson could get in the way of that, she was full-heartedly for that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't to help get Joey back. It was to ruin Pacey.
Because Dawson said that he wanted to join the boat race to show her how much he cares, and that's when Andy said that she was going to help him.
Yes, because that's when she said, well, if Pacey's in it, Dawson can be too.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about Pacey.
Okay.
I just thought it was weird. I'm like, all of a sudden these two are gonna be friends. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead and say what you said off record.
About what?
When you said, why does Joey need a job?
Oh, right. Yeah, I was surprised she was trying to get a job here or anywhere for that matter. When they have their B&B that seems to be doing so well. So
yeah, I mean, if it's the best in the state, as they said.
And like you think that they would need the help because it can't be just Bess working there.
Well, yeah, Bodhi's not there all of a sudden, and Joey's at school all day, and then she's gonna work all night.
Right. So that didn't make sense.
Well, yeah, who's cleaning? Who's cooking?
Right.
Who's taking care of anything else that anybody needs?
Because Joy didn't mention like anything about like putting this on her resume, so the colleges would see that she worked at this place. I think a college would be more impressed that Joey worked at her family's B&B.
Well, that she even made the B&B. She started it.
Yeah, because it was her mom's dream, and now she's just like letting Bess take over.
It didn't come from Bess. Yeah. Bess wasn't like, oh, let's start a B&B. Mm-hmm. It was Joey's idea. Yeah. Well, it was Pacey's idea, but yeah, she could take the credit for it.
So I don't know why Joey just kind of like let that dream go, after that hard work.
I just think it's weird. Yeah, I agree with you. It's weird that if the B&B is doing so good, why does she need a job?
Yeah, unless she's like gonna get $50 an hour working there or something. I don't know. But yeah, but anyways, Miss Valentine.
$50 in the 90s?
I mean, I'm thinking of it yacht club wise. I don't know how much they make there, even today. But I don't like Miss Valentine. She just doesn't like give people chances. She just kind of writes them off as whatever before even like really getting to know them, Yeah, so Miss Valentine's really just writing Joey off, like doesn't take her seriously, kind of judges her because she's like, oh, why haven't I seen the Potter name on the roster? And that's when Joey brings up the Rosses and everything before she leaves.
No. At first, Joey was really going along with acting like he's a part of it. And she said, first of all, she said daddy, which, yeah. But then she said, daddy's in pharmaceuticals. And I'm like,
I actually laughed at that part.
Me too. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He's definitely in pharmaceuticals. Mm-hmm. He's in prison.
Yeah. And then as Miss Valentine's talking, Joey goes,
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's a deckhand or stowaway? Because Miss Valentine asked Joey and Joey didn't know. So she really was trying to, that's when it got ugly. That's when it turned because she didn't know.
I think a deckhand is like someone who just works on boats, like doing the cleaning and stuff, or a lot of stuff apparently. Google says they work under the supervision of the vessel's deck officers to stand watches underway and in port, operate and maintain equipment and machinery, maintain the vessel's dock surfaces, interior spaces, like I said, cleaning, assist in operations like docking and undocking, secure cargo, just like different side jobs, add-in jobs. And then the stowaway, I'm pretty sure, is like people who sneak on boats that shouldn't be on there. Someone who hides on a ship, airplane in order to travel without paying. Yeah, so she thought Joey like did the cleaning on a boat or just snuck on a boat when she shouldn't have.
So yeah, then she brings up the Rosses.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, wait a minute. I'll give you a job.
Yeah, because at first too, Joey's like, how many more seconds do I have to submit to this thinly veiled obituary? Do you need a waitress or not? Like, I was glad she did that, because we don't see that Joey too much anymore, giving back what's given to her. And then that's when she brought up the Rosses.
Yeah. Let's go to Dawson and his music. So when Dawson and Gretchen are in the music store, I did not know you could trade music, like your actual CD.
Is that what he did? I thought he was just selling them.
No, he said he was trading them.
Oh, then I don't know.
I'm like, I didn't know it was like Blockbuster. You can just trade music.
I guess it depends on the store. Because I know places you can just sell your music, but not necessarily trade them for other ones.
He said he used the word trade, and I went, huh? I did not. I literally wrote that down. I did not know you could trade music.
Because, I feel like you can't just trade a CD for a CD as depending on what CD it is, like how rare it is and everything. Like,
I wouldn't think you could sell like a new person, like a new singer for like a Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's way out. That's way too far out.
Yeah.
Like no, that's just not. I wouldn't think would happen. So but I was like, but what if the music? Like, what if your CD is so worn out?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's unplayable. It'll skip and
Like, at
everything.
least Blockbuster, all of the movies were their movies.
Yeah.
And you only had a couple days to watch them. And you had to give it back. But this is different. He's had these CDs and he's trading them in. And then too, when he was in his room with Mitch, he was like, "Why are you guys so much cooler than I am?" That's what Dawson says to Mitch. And I was like, Dawson, of course your parents are, first of all, cooler than you. Secondly, everyone I think is cooler than Dawson, especially at this point. Like, he's such a, ugh. Well, what do you think of him?
Dawson?
Yes.
I don't know. He's just...
Like, to me, of course, everyone's cooler than...
Yeah. Yeah, everybody is.
Okay, well, who's not cooler than Dawson?
Drew.
He is more, but he has a personality.
Yeah, I just don't like Drew. He's too full of himself.
He is, but at least he's got a personality where he's going back at Joey. So Gretchen and Pacey are at this house that she's gonna buy.
Yeah, looking at the beach house, yeah.
First of all, it's on a beach. Secondly, do you really think the two of she has no job, and either does he, and he's in high school. I don't know where he's gonna get a job, as in because he's now got to take these 3 classes. How in the world are these two going to afford this beach house?
I don't know.
It is on the beach.
Maybe Gretchen has some money saved up. I don't know.
She talked about how, oh, this is the only place we can afford. And I went, what? What do you mean this is the only place? You mean to tell me in town there is not cheaper places than the beach?
Right, like the B&B.
They're not even on a creek. They're on the beach. The beach, I would think, would be more money than Dawson's house and Joey's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember when Miss Jacobs had the beach house and we all said, how could a teacher afford a beach house?
Yeah.
And she actually had a job.
Right.
Like a good job. How in the world can these two who are jobless afford a beach house? Yeah. Like, it's definitely TV writing. Yeah, because... Like, you and I, Cynthia, both have jobs. Right. We would not be able to afford a beach house, I can tell you that. Yeah. I know how much they cost, and you cannot afford that. Right. I'm just on two of our incomes put together. Right. We can't afford it. I know. How in the world can they who are jobless? I don't know, but speaking of beach houses, I actually thought for a second that was Miss Jacobs' old beach house. Oh, you did? That she sold, because they could have easily done that and, like, that would have been creepy. Pacey freak out, but that would have been creepy. So... Because he would have been like, oh, I remember this room. Yeah, because that was the first thing I thought of when they walked inside. But that was just my thing was, there's no way these two could afford it. Right. I don't care how small it is. It will be too much money for the two of them. And yes, they made it act like it was a fixer-upper. But it's not. But well, first of all, it's not. But secondly, even if it's a fixer-upper, it's still going to be a lot of money. Yeah. Okay, you know the lake I go to. Yeah. Any fixer-upper is going to be at least $500,000. Yeah. And I have a heart attack about that. Because I'm like, if I had $500,000, I would not spend that much money. Yeah. But then when you fix it up, it becomes $1 million house. But yeah, I just remember I was like, that's where I always go to, is because I was raised going to a lake, and we're in Michigan. We're not even close to the ocean. Right. And and I go to Florida and I see those $2-3 million houses that are little houses, okay? And they are on the ocean and they are $2-3 million. And they are a small house that is probably a fixer-upper. And that's millions. How in the world can these two afford it? I don't get it. It's definitely TV. I know. Like, I would not write to people who can't afford it, who don't have jobs. Yeah, they're going to live on the beach. That doesn't make any sense. I would not write it that way. Yeah. But I was glad that Gretchen told Pacey that he should tell Joey about his grades. Even though I thought it was Dawson funny. Ends up being the one telling her. Well, I thought it was funny because he said, Joey is smart and Pacey is an idiot. So Pacey in this episode is referring to himself as the third person. He keeps saying Pacey, Pacey.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. And then Joey meets Drew at her job, but she thinks his name is Owen Ross, so...
Well, because he
signed it.
signs
but
it.
Did you notice he didn't sign it? He just wrote print the
Owen.
name.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's not signing it.
Well, because he doesn't have to. His mommy and daddy own it or whatever.
But they didn't know that he signed that name as Owen Ross.
Yeah, they don't. But I'm sure his is free.
Yeah, I guess even the Rosses. But yeah. So Joey at first is like treating him like a regular person and everything like that. And Drew comes in, assuming that Joey's only working there because she's a single mother with no family,
which is
and
weird.
a dad that left her. The dad.
I'm sorry, but she looks like a teenager.
Yeah, well, I would hope so.
Well, she
for TV.
Dawson don't look like no teenager. I've been saying this since the first season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but after she sees Owen Ross on the receipt, then she's all nice to him, even though he's lying about the whole thing.
Okay, can we go to Henry for a second, even though he's not in it?
Yeah.
So Jack was telling Andy about what Henry is making him do, and Jack says he's 16. Remember his birthday party at the roller rink?
Yeah.
Skate? Yeah.
Wasn't that his 16th?
That was his 16th. We were all debating what he was turning.
Right.
And I said if he was turning 15, the writing wouldn't be right because when we first meet him, he's 14 or he's 15. So it would have made sense they turned 16, but they don't say it's his 16th birthday. But now we find out from Jack that Henry is 16, so that would have been his 16th birthday. I'm just putting it all together for you.
Yeah.
I was like, we're finally realizing he's 16. But, hasn't it been like 2 years now since Jack's been 17?
I think, yeah.
Remember when last season you were like, oh, he's supposed to be a senior now. Well, now he's a senior with the rest of them. Can you put all that together?
No, unless he got held back and he just didn't say anything. Nobody says anything.
I don't think Jack is dumb where he would.
Right.
The only one that's failing is Pacey. So it wouldn't make sense that Jack would have to redo a year. I mean, think about it. Andy went to treatment and still is in the same grade as everybody else. So I feel like that would have been the same thing with Jack.
Yeah.
Where he might have had some couple months off, but he would have still passed.
Right. And then Pacey and Joey are having dinner on the boat.
Oh, it was funny though, because when, he's all moody and because he won't tell her. And she was talking about how great senior year is and stuff, and she was going on, and then she said, "No more books," and Pacey says, "No more Dawson's dirty looks." That just made me crack up. I was like, "Here we go with the humor." Yeah, but it's Pacey. I love it. And you didn't think that was funny?
No, it was. And then Joey brought up the meeting with the guidance counselor, but Pacey's just, was eating in silence. He wasn't answering her. So she goes on about her new job and how she needs the money to get out of Cape Side and not being a townie. And
oh, yeah. I have a question for you, Cynthia.
What?
What's wrong with being a townie? I agree with Pacey. I'm full-heartedly with Pacey. What is wrong with being a townie?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't know, but it would be nice to see other places.
You're gonna move?
No, there was a couple chances before when I thought about moving.
Where were you gonna move to?
Well, I was thinking of going to the Arts Institute in some other state, for fashion design. I think it was like around Chicago, I think. So that was one for a minute until I realized that I probably wouldn't do well by myself in a new place, even though my mom did have an aunt there, but I didn't know the aunt, so that would have been weird. And then Texas for a good minute because I was thinking of moving down there to be with my girlfriend. So, but that was only like a couple years, and I just didn't have money to move anywhere because I was in college still. So I wanted to get that done first.
Right.
But yeah. And then they get into a whole argument about that whole situation being a townie, and because Pacey takes it.
And he wanted to eat in silence.
Yeah, Pacey took it personally, and.
Well, because then she said, you're not that type of person. He's like, I didn't ask what type of person I was.
Yeah.
I asked what's wrong with being a townie. There's nothing wrong with staying in your hometown.
Right.
Especially, like, for me, if I left, I would be leaving my whole family.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Right.
Like, there comes a point where you have to decide what you want. I would miss everything. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss nieces and nephews grow up. Like, it's hard to go a couple of weeks without seeing them. I couldn't imagine months and years.
Yeah, I do months, and it's really hard because mine live like a couple hours away. So, but still, Michigan just a couple hours away.
I just couldn't do it, and that's why I'm like, nope. There comes a time where what's important, and for me, family is everything to me.
Yeah.
So I have to be where family is, and since mine's here, I'm here.
Yeah, most of my family's here, but some live in other states.
So Joey, for a moment with Drew, even though we don't really know his name yet.
Right.
When he was talking about
the gossip.
No, when he was talking about spitting in the food.
Oh yeah.
I was like, you know what? Joey probably would spit in his food.
Yeah, I was in that too.
That's literally what I wrote down. I'm like, Joey's the person that would spit in his food.
Yeah.
Especially his.
And then Owen is telling Joey about all the yacht members, club members, giving her all the tea about everybody.
Oh, and didn't he call Mrs. Valentine a bitch?
I forgot, but he said something that...
He said something.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Joey may have called her a bitch, and then he said something that wasn't very nice either, and I went, oh.
Yeah.
Not nice.
Right. Yeah, and then Jen and Jack meet on the pier, and that's when Jack, well, he doesn't really say because Jen figures it out.
No, because he can't say. All he keeps saying is like, oh, have you heard from Henry?
Yeah.
So sitting in class, let's get to that. So Dawson is, okay, no, before that. Mitch has the nerve to go against all ethicals and tell Dawson that Pacey is failing and will not graduate. What? What kind of writing is this? You basically take an oath not to tell people's business.
Yeah,
and Big Mouth Mitch is telling Dawson.
Yep.
I don't care if that's your son or not. You do not tell under any circumstances what another student's life or anything is.
Yep.
That is so wrong.
He would be fired immediately and can no longer, at least, I don't know, he might get away with going somewhere else, but like he definitely wouldn't be being a guidance counselor at the school. Or
he wouldn't be anything.
Any schools nearby.
He wouldn't be anything.
Right.
I was like, because he's like, Dawson, and I'm like, don't you dare. And then he tells him.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I get why he did it, yes, but you take an oath, basically. You have to sign a contract, and in the contract it says confidential. You don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Clearly. Just because your son is there and it's your son's best friend does not give you a right to tell him what's going on. It's like, unless Pacey said, tell Dawson, then he could.
Yeah.
But Pacey didn't say that.
And
so then I'm jumping to the classroom scene. Dawson is in class. I have a question. I have a thing about this. Who in the world? Okay, so the bell rings, right? And then Dawson realizes Pacey's not there. The teacher literally says Wagner, Wilson, Witter. Who in the world the bell rings? Who starts with W's first?
I guess TV.
I have never sat in a classroom where they started with W's. If they're going through attendance, it's either how your seat is, because a W could be at the beginning, or they could be sitting up front, right? Just like me, I could be sitting up front, and they go by, where you're sitting, but they were literally going by the last name, and I was like, there's no way a W would go before an A, or even an L. Dawson's a Leary. Why wasn't Dawson's name called first? It would have made more sense if they would have said Leary and Dawson said here, and then they would have said Wilson and Witter. You know what I mean? That made a little bit more sense. I wouldn't have judged it so much. I still would have judged it because they didn't throw in any beginning of the alphabet, Yeah. It doesn't make any sense that they'd start with W's. And it wasn't like they were going from W, because then they would have started with Witter. You know what I mean? And then went to Leary, but they didn't. But yes, we find out Pacey is skipping school. And then that's when Dawson realizes that he needs to tell Joey because she's the only person that can get through to him.
Yep.
Now, do you think it would have worked if Dawson would have talked to Pacey?
I don't know.
Because I know Dawson wasn't going to because he hates Pacey and he doesn't ever want to be friends with them. But I'm just saying, do you think that would have maybe helped a little? Like, I still care about you sort of thing?
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe also Dawson didn't want to get his dad in trouble, maybe, for telling Pacey.
He got himself in trouble anyway because he ends up telling Joey, and Joey finds out from Dawson.
Yeah, it's just less directed to Mr. Leary.
But they end up saying, even Dawson eventually tells his dad. I mean, it might have been even the next episode or whatever, like, oh, he's still mad at me about telling, about you telling me. So it's like, it's the same thing. But I thought it was funny when Dawson goes to see Joey because he's so awkward. First of all, he says, is it too late? Isn't like the B&B kind of 24/7?
It should be. But he showed up at Joey's to return her CDs that he had.
It was just an indication to kind of like open it up to talk about Pacey.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why he was going there. But he was just so awkward. He's like, I should go. And then all of a sudden he's like, then he brings up Pacey.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm his girlfriend. I would know. It's like, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah, Dawson said that when you love someone, you want her to be proud of you. The thought of disappointing her is crippling. So I know he's talking about himself, but he was trying to help Joey see what Pacey's probably thinking and why he's not telling her.
Well, that is the reason why. And remember, Pacey said, Joey's smart, Pacey's an idiot. So that's exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah, so then Joey goes over to Pacey and demands to know why Dawson knows about his life more than she does.
Oh, so I thought it was funny, though, when he said, no, this is when he finds out. Because she said, why, brings up, why does Dawson know? And he said, Leary Sr. has a big mouth.
Yeah.
And Junior is loving it or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. We got Senior and Junior.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. And Joey says, why doesn't this surprise her? Because Pacey always runs away. That's just how he deals with things. And Pacey says that's why he's such a loser. Joey says she didn't spend her summer with a loser. And she thought that they built like a strong foundation for a relationship. And she thought that they were a team. But it turns out she couldn't have been more wrong, and leaves because she has heard that he didn't tell her.
Yeah. Do you like when Dawson and Jen are talking and Jen was like saying how she wasn't in love and stuff, and that I thought it was kind of funny though when she said that Henry was like her first real boyfriend because she's literally talking to her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, because he did bring up didn't he bring up that or that was the other episode, I think.
Stop it.
No, I'm talking about a past one. But anyways, yeah.
Well, he talks about I know what it's like to be angry with the world. I was last spring or whatever. And I was just like, but I literally wrote down Dawson. You're still angry.
Yeah.
You're still it's one thing, I think, to tell somebody something like all day long, but to basically say you're healed, everything's good, Dawson, you're not. Because if you were, you would talk to Pacey.
Yeah, so he just helps Jen by saying, like, the sooner she lets herself feel the pain, that the sooner that she can love again.
Well, and then to even, for her to actually admit that she was in love. Because she says, like, oh, this can't really be love or whatever. That's why she's like, well, I wasn't in love. And he's like in his head, yeah, you were.
Yeah, Dawson said that he's learned a lot from Jen, that Jen has helped him through the worst of times and taught her that love can suck, things change, but friendship always remains sacred. And Dawson continues saying that this summer would have been a huge black hole of depression if it weren't for her, Andy, and Jack. So that was nice.
Yeah, and then Jen and Jack make up. But I'm gonna go to the end of the scene, or end of the end scene.
Episode, yeah.
When at the boat with Pacey and Joey. I thought it was funny when Joey said Dawson would never inspire me to run away for the summer.
Yeah, it's true.
I loved that. Because it's just telling who she should be with. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
That he's not that person.
Yeah.
That Pacey is that person for her. But I thought it was funny. I was like, man, it's the beginning of season 4, and she's already saying that Dawson wouldn't inspire her to run away with him?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah.
I know, but...
You wouldn't even want to run away.
But that's a soulmate, Cynthia.
Yeah, from his point of view, but not from her point of view.
What? That they're soulmate?
Yeah. And then I thought it was funny when Pacey said that his sister told him it's not a bad thing to talk about your problems with your girlfriend, and Joey says, it's nice to know someone in the Witter family can boast a brain cell or two.
But then he says that you have wrecked me.
Yeah, in the best way. And he knew he fell in love with her knowing there's no possible way of being with her and that her heart would always be wrapped up in Dawson. And he was okay with that until she chose him because he got everything he wanted. And he's been a wreck since then because he's just been waiting for the other shoe to drop. I felt bad for him, just waiting for the worst to happen after he got something good.
Well, because that's been his whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He got Andy.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? She cheated. Yeah. So it's like, no matter what good can come in his life, it's always going to be wrecked by something.
Yeah, because...
So it only makes sense for him to... And okay, I get, because some people may say that Pacey was really bad in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But my comeback is, everybody has told Pacey he's a failure.
Right.
Dawson, his best friend,
mm-hmm.
has put it in his head that you are below me. You are stupid. I get to make fun of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way Joey could fall in love with you. Like, all of these things.
Yeah.
And that's your best friend. And, then you've got your dad and your brother, who are your family, who are saying you're so stupid. So it's like, it only makes sense that...
He hid it from Joey.
What? Yeah, that he wouldn't tell Joey the truth because he doesn't want to hear it again because he's heard it so many times.
Right, and she's the last person that he wants to hear it from.
Right, so he's like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. So I get why he was angry, upset, and so distant because he doesn't know how to process that because that's just been his whole life. Everybody's told him he's stupid and he's worthless, and you know what? He believes it. So, and he doesn't want to hear it from the person he loves the most.
Yeah, and he was afraid that Joey would realize she made a mistake and that he's a big disappointment and that she would realize that Dawson is the guy she wants to be with.
Mm-hmm.
No, that would not happen. At least I don't think it would.
Why wouldn't it happen, Cynthia?
I don't know, because we still have this whole season and then season 5 and season 6, so much can happen in those episodes. I don't know.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know.
You're the one that said it.
Well,
so I just want to know what you mean.
Are Pacey and Joey are still even be together after high school? When Joey goes off to college somewhere and Pacey maybe stays in Capeside? I don't know.
Do you remember when I said how much I hate season 5?
Yeah. Is that the reason why?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a part?
Yep.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know. Never know what's gonna happen. And then don't they argue about Dawson? Yeah, because when he brings up Dawson and she's like, what did Dawson have to do with his grades? And then Pacey says Dawson...
Nothing and everything.
Yeah, Dawson never would have screwed up like I did. And then Joey, I mean, not Joey, I was going to say, but Dawson did mess up, in this series, because he crashed his dad's boat and the test. There's so many things that he messed up on.
Invaded her privacy more than once.
Yeah, so Pacey is just being too hard on himself because Dawson's definitely not like the perfect good guy.
Well, I think too that they both get brainwashed by Dawson, where Dawson is like, Pacey, you're stupid. I'm the best. So it's in Pacey's head that Dawson's this great person, even though he has made his own mistakes and worse mistakes than Pacey. Pacey still has it in his head because of Dawson. Same thing with Joey. Well, we're soulmates. So now she has to believe that.
Yeah.
And I should be the one for you. So she puts her own feelings aside with Pacey to be like, it's like they're both being manipulated by him. So they don't really think for themselves. So when they actually do, it's shocking for them.
Yeah. And Joey, talks to Pacey and says that they're making their own history that doesn't involve Dawson and that they made their own reality on the boat, but it couldn't last forever. Relationships aren't about a romantic cruise. It's going to be the moments that define them. So that was nice. And then that's when Pacey breaks down because he's scared he's going to flunk out of high school and he just needs help. And Joey says that's all he needed to say and holds him while he cries. I thought that was sweet. Pacey finally let, lean on Joey's shoulder and to be there for him and help him, because that was a hard thing for him to do with her. So, yeah, so she says everything's going to be okay and they kiss and Pacey's relieved to hear that, and I know this is in the 2000s, but she did say that he was emotionally the R word today.
I heard it.
She could have said emotionally delayed or slow or something.
No, that still would have been bad.
Yeah, I'm just better than that.
How's this? You're not stupid.
Or just not emotionally doesn't have emotional intelligence. I don't know.
Still comes off wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. They could have rewrote that whole line. And then they get off the boat, and Pacey says that they should go make out, and Joey says that sounds romantic.
Yeah, he says we should go make out somewhere.
Yeah, and Pacey says that she's too cynical.
Yeah, but then he says, "You love me," and she says, "You bug me."
Yeah, that was cute.
So my high was the ending of the episode.
Yeah.
When Pacey finally tells Joey.
Me too.
His feelings. And when I think it's hard for Pacey too because he has never really been vulnerable with anybody.
Right.
Like Andy, I think, was the first person. And look how well that turned out. So it's like, I don't want to do that again. And so it's hard for him to actually open up.
Well, he opened up to Joey that night before he took her to see her dad.
Yeah.
She told him about what his dad said when he was little.
But that was it.
Yeah.
It's not like all the time sort of, like Dawson can be a crybaby all the time.
Yeah.
Where Pacey is a little bit more stronger in hiding his emotions.
Yeah.
Than Dawson is. So for him, it's even harder to tell the truth of how he's feeling, because he's always just trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
And always like trying to be the hero that he can't just, lean on somebody because everybody's always leaning on him sort of thing. Right. So that was nice. So that would be my high was the end. And then my low would be the whole breakup, going back and forth. I didn't really care for it all. Like, it was just too much. What's yours?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much the same thing. The high with Pacey leaning on Joey about his grades, and the high was, the low was Jen and Henry and how he ended things off with her. Yeah.
And then I would rate this an 8. What would you rate it?
Yeah, same thing, 8.
And then who's your best and worst character?
That was hard. I would say just worst Drew.
It was hard?
Well, with the best.
Oh.
Yeah, just Drew because, he's Drew, but he just...
Wait, you said he's the worst because he's Drew.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of, wow, we've had so many minor characters. I think his name was Matt, and then kind of like Chris. He kind of reminds me of those guys that we've seen. Whatever the guy was, his name, when they went to the house to study, and then they took that quiz.
That was Chris.
Oh.
Chris Wolf.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking, okay, then the golf course party. I think that was Matt.
No, Matt Caulfield was where it was on the golf course, and Pacey beat him up. Gosh. This is trivia.
Yeah. I'm not good with names, and then if they're only in a couple episodes, they definitely get pushed to the side. But yeah, he just reminds me of those jerks that we've seen so far, and he just like led Joey on to believe that he was somebody else when he really wasn't. He was the son of the owner of the yacht club. And then the best for me, now I know it was unethical, but Mitch, just because he did eventually get somebody to talk to Pacey eventually about his grades. So I feel like if Mitch didn't tell Dawson, then this secret would have went on longer and longer, and then Pacey definitely wouldn't have had help gotten any help, and then would have even fallen more behind in school. So it just would have became worse,
I don't know. Maybe Gretchen would have told Joey.
Yeah, but Gretchen told Pacey to tell her. So
yeah, but after a few days of not and having mopey Pacey, she probably would have because she couldn't live with him anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, the worst was Drew because he literally almost got Joey fired.
Yeah.
By putting Owen down. Because then his mom was his mom was like, who?
If you knew them,
if you really knew them, then you would know they're in Paris. And it was like, ugh.
Forgot about the part, yeah.
Yeah. So Drew basically almost got her fired. I mean, it was a good thing that he finally said, "Oh no, I saw Owen." It's like a dumbass that wrote it. And plus, she claims she needs this job. I don't get it, but okay.
Yeah.
So that's why he's the worst for me. I mean, I could say Henry because he was barely, but we never even seen him.
Right.
And I could go with Pacey, but again, he has had a not so good life, but it's hard to say that would be the worst. You know what I mean? Because he was only sabotaging himself.
Right.
Where Drew was sabotaging Joey's, livelihood. So I feel like that outweighs everybody else.
Yeah.
All because he wanted to pull a prank, because that's fun.
I know.
And And then the best, I can never you and Mitch. This is going to be so hard to say.
What?
The best. I picked Dawson.
Really?
I really thought I would never pick him again. After whenever the last one was, I really thought I would never pick him again, but I did. Okay, because here was the thing: was once Mitch told him about Pacey, he could have, in Dawson-like way, totally ignored it and acted like he never heard it.
Right.
And never told Joey, who then would have confronted Pacey. But he did. He set his little feelings with Pacey aside. And it's not even that, but he also helped Jen understand her breakup. You know what I mean? So he was there for a couple people in the episode. It wasn't like it was just Pacey. He was also there for Jen. Because think about it. That's what made her go, okay. And then that's what made her forgive Jack, too. Yeah. So he was kind of helping a few different people. So that's why he was the best.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I still can't believe you said Mitch. Mitch did something bad.
Yeah, good and bad, yeah.
Nope, just bad. All right, what's next episode?
Episode 3, Two Gentlemen of Capeside.
Okay. All right, thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.